Hey everybody, welcome back to Psych Sync. My name is Prescott, and here again at Psych Sync, Succinct Psychology. And today we're going to continue going through Chapter 9, Development. Last time we spoke about some different theory, like the cognitive theory, psychosocial, psychosexual, whether or not development is continuous or discontinuous. So we're going to continue where we left off. We left off on stages of development. So you have prenatal stage, infancy to childhood, adolescence, emerging adulthood, and adulthood. So let's start off with prenatal development. So in prenatal development, you have the germinal stage, which is weeks 1 to 2, and conception occurs when sperm fertilizes an egg and forms a zygote, or a one-cell structure. Now mitosis is the process of cell division. The zygote divides and cells become more specialized, forming organs and body parts. Now the embryonic stage is weeks 3 through 8. After the zygote has 150 cells, it travels down the fallopian tubes and implants itself in the lining of the uterus. The zygote is now an embryo or a multicellular organism, and organs begin to function, so heart begins to beat, and basic structures develop that will become the head, chest, and abdomen. Now, the placenta is a structure connected to the uterus that provides nourishment and oxygen from the mother to the embryo via the umbilical cord. So if you guys were wondering, how do babies breathe? Now you know. Now, prenatal development in the fetal stage is weeks 9 through 40. During the fetal stage, the baby's brain develops and the body adds size and weight until the fetus reaches full-term development. So here you start at 9 weeks, it begins, and you get to 40 weeks, full-term development. You have a whole baby now. Now, prenatal influences. Genetic and environmental factors can affect development during each prenatal stage. It is important for the mother to receive prenatal care or medical care during pregnancy to monitor the health of the mother and fetus. Now, teratogen, if I'm saying that correctly, is any environmental agent, biological, chemical, or physical, that causes damage to the developing embryo or fetus. Now, alcohol can cause fetal alcohol syndrome. Smoking can result in premature birth, low birth weight, stillbirths, sudden infant death syndrome. Drugs like heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine, as well as prescription drugs, and then there's radiation, viruses, example HIV, herpes, rubella. So these are all prenatal influences. So we have here fetal alcohol syndrome. It is a collection of birth defects associated with heavy consumption of alcohol during pregnancy. Research has found alcohol to be the leading preventable cause of mental retardation in children in the U.S. So, physical effects: small head size, abnormal facial features, so see low nasal bridge, small eye openings, short nose, thin upper lip, underdeveloped jaw, smooth philtrum, flat midface, epichantal folds. So, this is fetal alcohol syndrome from YouTube. Now, so again, those are the physical side effects. Now, cognitive could be poor judgment, poor impulse control, higher rates of ADHD, learning issues, and lower IQ scores. So, newborns. Newborn reflexes are inborn automatic responses to particular forms of stimulation, and they help the newborn survive. Now, a rooting reflex is the baby turns its head towards something that touches its cheek. So if you ever touch a baby's cheek, it'll turn its head towards that. Sucking reflex is when they suck on objects placed in the mouth. Grasping reflex, cling to objects placed in hands. And Moro reflex, baby spreads arms and pulls them back in when they are startled / feel like they are falling. Sensory abilities, not yet fully developed at birth. Vision is the least developed sense, so they can't see too good. They prefer human voices, specifically their mothers, over strangers, and can distinguish between the smell of their mother and others. Now, physical development and growth occurs rapidly during infancy, but it slows down at around ages 4 to 6. Girls have a growth spurt at age 8 to 9 to about 12. Now, nervous system, the blooming period. Neural pathways form thousands of new connections during infancy and toddlerhood. And the pruning period is neural connections are reduced during childhood and adolescence to allow the brain to function more efficiently. So the size of the brain increases rapidly, especially the frontal lobe during ages 3 to 6. And 55% of adults size at age 2, 55% of adult size at age 2, 90% of adult size at age 6. I'm sorry, I tripped myself up there. It's saying that They're 55% of adult size at age 2, and they're 90 at age 6. Now, motor development is motor skills our ability to move our bodies and manipulate objects that occurs in an orderly sequence and becomes more advanced. Now, fine motor skills focus on the muscles in our fingers, toes, and eyes and enable coordination of small actions, for example, gripping a pencil. Now, gross motor skills focus on large muscle groups that control arms and legs and involve larger movements, for example, bouncing and running. Going on, we have cognitive development. So Piaget thought that children's ability to understand objects develops slowly as a child matures and interacts with the environment. Today, developmental psychologists think Piaget was incorrect. Now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that right now. 1987. Very young children understand objects and how they work long before they have experience with those objects. In Bailard-Gion's study, infants observed a truck roll down an unobstructed track. So, figure A. And then figure B, roll down an unobstructed track with an obstruction, box, behind it. And C, roll down and pass through what appears to be an obstruction. Infants spent more time looking at C, suggesting that they knew solid objects cannot pass through each other. So that's Bailard-Gion. Sound like an alien name. Now, cognitive development. There are cognitive milestones. So, at 6 to 9 months, they can shake their head no. 9 to 12, respond to verbal requests, for example, wave, bye-bye. 8 months, they understand object permanence. So again, I think I said that in the last video, but children before this don't have object permanence. If you put something under, you hide something, like you have a toy or something, and you put it around the corner, or hide it with a blanket, baby's going to assume that that thing no longer exists. You blinked out of existence. And then toddlers, they understand someone will come back when they leave the room and will look in appropriate places when asked to find objects. So kind of like what I just said. 3 to 5 years, they learn to count, name colors, know their name and age, can make small decisions, understand basic time concepts and sequencing, and enjoy pretend play. And they can think symbolically. And they become more curious. They always ask why, and they develop theory in mind. If you've ever had a conversation with a 3 to 5 year old, you will know, like, they'll ask you something, and be like, oh, well, because of this, why? Well, because of this, why? And it just gets to the point where you question your own existence, because they just ask you, like, why are you anything? So 6 to 11, thinking becomes more logical and organized. They understand past, present, and future, and can plan and work towards goals, understand cause and effect relationships, and basic math skills. And their attention span is limited until approximately age 11. So, because they understand luck and fairness, children in middle and late childhood, ages 6 to 11 years old, are able to follow rules for games. So, football, basketball, baseball. Now, psychosocial development, attachment. So, psychosocial development occurs as children form relationships, interact with others, and understand and manage their feelings. Now, attachment is a long-standing connection or bond with others. Forming health attachments is one of the main psychosocial milestones of infancy. So how do parent and infant attachment bonds form? How does neglect affect these bonds? What accounts for children's attachment differences? And the most influential studies conducted to answer these questions were by Harry Harlow, John Bowlby, and Mary Ainsworth. So here we have a nice picture. Mutually enjoyable interactions promote the mother-infant bond. Well, I don't think that's that kid's mother, but you get the idea. So attachment. Harlow separated newborn monkeys from their mothers and presented them with 2 surrogate mothers. One made out of wire mesh and could dispense milk. One made from cloth did not dispense milk. Monkeys spent time clinging to the cloth monkey and only went to the wire monkey for food. Results suggest that feelings of comfort and security are the critical components to maternal-infant bonding. Going on with attachment, we have Bowlby, his attachment theory, define attachment as the affectional bond/tie that an infant forms with the mother. And the bond must be made with primary caregiver in order to have a normal social and emotional development. Saw attachment as an all or nothing process. You're either attached or you're not. Now, secure base is the parental presence that gives the child a sense of safety as he explores his surroundings. And requirements for a healthy attachment are: 1, caregiver must be responsive to the child's physical, physical and emotional needs, and the caregiver and child must engage in mutually enjoyable interactions. And then we have Mary Ainsworth in 1970. Do children differ in the way they bond, and if so, why? Ainsworth looked to answer this question through a procedure known as the strange situation. Now, strange situation is when a mother, caregiver, the caregiver, and infant are placed in a room together with toys. Stranger enters the room and mother leaves. After a few minutes, mother returns to the room to comfort the child. Through the strange situation, Ainsworth identified 3 styles of attachment. A 4th was later identified. So you have secure attachment, avoidant, resistant, and disorganized. So that is where we will stop the video today. We will go through the different types of attachment that Ainsworth discovered in the next video. Again, my name is Prescott. I'm here at PsychSync, the Sync Psychology, and I hope you found the video enjoyable and you learned something today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.